The Australian people are not happy with this. I've always loved Australians. They're so fun, they're so cheeky, and I love this. And it's amazing to me how they can just clap back at 40,000 people who want their voice heard. And what they're talking about is that it's going to be this fireside, intimate type of retreat with Meghan, where she's going to kind of like kick off her shoes, curl up with you, and talk about spread, talk about how to make a charcuterie board. I have no idea, but point being, it's like, if you want that type of stuff, just watch her Netflix show. It's chock full of stuff like that. Don't know what she's going to be talking about, but the king and queen of Delusion, because as you know, those titles can never be taken away.
Boo!
So we all know that she's got the little wellness retreat going on in Australia that's coming up in mid-April. I talked about that in one of the videos I posted last week. I'll go ahead and link those. But you've heard about the poo balls that are washing up on the beach. You've heard about the fact that the people that spend thousands of dollars to go to this little shindig of hers are going to be forced to share a hotel room, twin bed, with a stranger in a hotel that we've all heard reports in the media right now is undergoing massive construction. So a lot of people are wondering, are certain parts of this resort going to even be fully operational for the guests that they're anticipating? But I don't think they have to worry. I really don't think they have to worry, because I really feel that this thing is being pumped up to be something that it's not. It's a luxury, women's only wellness retreat. And apparently it was designed for approximately 300 women. I was on a live on the Victoria Voice channel, and I'll go ahead and link the video that I was in with her. Victoria's Voice, great channel, great gal, love her. And we were talking about it, and I was telling Victoria, I had no idea that it was only designed for 300 women. I thought it was designed for more, but I guess that would justify the price of these tickets. The early bird tickets were 2,700 Australian dollars. That is about 1,900 US. And then the VIP package was about 3,200 Australian, around 2,300 US. And what that gets you, the VIP thing, is front row seating at this gala dinner, a group table photo with Meghan, and a premium ocean view room, and a goodie bag. But reports are still that you're still sharing that room, even for that high price. And they released pictures of this venue, and it doesn't look particularly special, and it looks very, very small. And what they're talking about is that it's going to be this fireside, intimate type of retreat with Meghan, where she's going to kind of like kick off her shoes, curl up with you, and talk about spread, talk about how to make a charcuterie board. I have no idea, but point being, it's like, if you want that type of stuff, just watch her Netflix show. It's chock full of stuff like that. Don't know what she's going to be talking about, but the Australian people are not happy with this. I've always loved Australians. They're so fun, they're so cheeky, and I love this. The Daily Mail is reporting Harry and Meghan condemn 35,000 strong petition demanding no taxpayers' cash is spent on Australia trip, as they insist that their pseudo-royal visit is privately funded. So there's actually even more signatures now. More than 35,000. Right before I turned on the camera to film this video, it's a little over 40,000 now. And of course, because they always have to have the last word, Harry and Meghan's team, their spokesmen, have already clapped back to this petition. And they've said, quote, "It's a moot point. The trip is being funded privately. So I'm not sure what this petition hopes to achieve." And they also go on to say, if you wanted to dive into the ridiculousness of this petition as an agenda for spreading misinformation, then one could equally hypothesize that there are approximately 26.5 million Australians, 99.98% of the population, who haven't signed it, who must therefore agree with the taxpayer picking up the tab for their visit. Of course, that is another equally stupid assertion to make. You don't always have to have the last word. I understand, Harry and Meghan, that you don't prescribe to the never complain, never explain mantra. Fair enough. You want to share your pain, but they're kind of getting into the territory into no news headline will go unchallenged. I mean, that should really be their motto at this point. It's like, why do they feel that they need to clap back on every single thing? They did it with the release of Tom Bower's book, calling him a deranged conspiracy theorist. All they're doing in essence is putting more negative attention on all of this reporting surrounding the wellness event and all the poop on the beach and how atrociously expensive it is. And now about how the organizer of this wellness retreat is in financial trouble herself. And then, for the book, Tom Bower, he's even saying, it's awesome that they clap back because all they did was push his book to #1 on the Amazon list. It's just, you cannot make this up. If they are trying to invalidate this petition by saying that, 99.98% of the population in Australia haven't signed it. So actually, there's a little something called the negativity bias. And maybe if Harry and Meghan had some smart, astute business people around them, they would let them know about it. And what the negativity bias is, basically in a nutshell, it's that, when people are aggrieved, when people are upset, they are more vocal about it. For example, if you buy a product or you get a service from a business and you're happy with the service, you're happy with the product, you're likely just to enjoy it and go on with your life. But what happens when you buy something or you pay for a service and it is not what is expected? And say you try to work it out with the company or with the customer service of said company and you're not treated well for whatever reason, you can't get an exchange, you can't get refunded, you're treated badly, whatever. People are more apt to go out and let others know about it. To say, hey, I've been wronged here. This product didn't work, or this service was terrible. Here's why. I mean, yes, you've got people that make that a full-time job, and most would agree that those people are toxic and they're just like not nice people. But for the most part, normal reasoned people, if they really do feel like something went wrong, they post a negative review or they speak out about it because they want to help others. So you have to think of it too. For every negative review or opinion that's out there, there's got to be more and more and more and more that are just like it. So for them to completely discount this 40,000 signature petition as being just a moot point and it's just ridiculous, all it does is serve to make Harry and Meghan look that much more petty, look that much more indignant, and they just feel that they are 100% immune to criticism. And also, I was thinking about when they said that it was a moot point, that their security is being privately funded for this trip anyway, so they don't understand the ridiculousness of this petition. Think about it. There is confusion surrounding this petition because of the way that they have been marketing themselves for the last 6 years. It is confusing. Are you mega monetizers or are you royal? You can't have both and retain respectability in the eyes of the public. People want to know what is going on, and they probably don't understand or know how is this being funded, and they don't care. They just don't want them there. And if there are public funds going to this trip, they don't want it. And they don't see that as, wow, our branding is off, our messaging is off, because that's what they think about. They think about money and marketing and branding. And even from that just negative, shallow standpoint, they should be thinking, wow, we haven't done a good job of communicating who we are and what we're doing. It's because obviously people are like, well, they think that they're royal. They still think they're pseudo royal. So if they are coming over here in a royal capacity, we ain't going to pay for it. It's just all a confusing mess. That's why these two have to pick a lane. Just pick a lane. And if you want to remain royal, then you have to stop monetizing every aspect of your lives. And that's the only thing that they have been able to do, is monetize those titles and monetize their grievances. That's the only thing that they've been successful at. And that is what makes them look like turncoats in everybody's eyes, is they're trying to remain royal, but then at the same time, they're trying to trash the institution that gives them relevance in the first place.
Boo!
It's just like a carousel of delusion that they just don't want to get off. It's amazing to me. And it's amazing to me how they can just clap back at 40,000 people who want their voice heard. It's not like they said something in a statement to the effect of, we want to assure the Australian public that we are privately funded. There is no tax money being pushed towards this trip. Absolutely not. I mean, if you're going to say something, at least be somewhat gracious and word it that way. But of course, they have to have this arrogant tone to them, this, oh, that's a moot point, and how dare you? You know, it's just all this smacks of elitism, this smacks of arrogance. They have insulated themselves from normal people to the point that they really feel like they're, you know what, don't stink. And they can do whatever we want, and they are above criticism. How dare you? How dare you point out that you don't like what's being done here? Because they're going to clap back and they're going to tell you, that's a moot point. How dare you? And moreover, you're only a small segment. You're a tiny segment. You don't matter because the larger collective, they don't have a problem with it. Well, that's not entirely true, because again, that's where that negativity bias comes into play. Because I guarantee you, if you went to any part of Australia and talked to anybody and said, hey, how do you feel about Harry and Meghan coming to Australia? Don't even talk to them about the tax funded security or whether it's funded or not. Just ask them how they feel about Harry and Meghan coming to Australia. I wonder what their opinion would be about it. Probably not good. Harry and Meghan just need to go away and live a private life like they told us they wanted to do back in 2020. And go and spend some more time with your invisible children. Why don't you go do that? They do an awful lot of traveling away from their children. Their children are in the formative years, and they spend a heck of a lot of time away from those kids. Actually, the only time I can recall, I mean, maybe 2 or 3, but the big one that sticks out in my mind was when they were in South Africa in 2019 and they took Archie. Remember when they took him to meet Archbishop Desmond Tutu? That one sticks out in my mind. But unfortunately, I kind of think that they took him back then because she wanted him close, because he was still her asset that she was protecting while she was still within the confines of the royal family. Now that she's free and she's in America and she doesn't have to deal with palace protocol and being a working member, you notice she never takes those children anywhere with her, wherever they're traveling. And when they're traveling for days, sometimes weeks at a time away from the kids. What do you think that is doing to those kids? And I know there are a lot of people that work and travel for their jobs and are away from their children. I've been in that situation with my husband working overseas because he was working overseas in a place where we as a family couldn't go be with him. But it's like, it's a necessary evil due to the nature of his job to make a living to support our family. But Harry and Meghan are doing all of this voluntarily. And it's all these faux humanitarian branding trips where they're trying to elevate their image. But it's not a requirement. They're not working royals. They're engaged in all of these trips and this propaganda. To what end? They're not spending any time with their kids. I just don't understand any of this. I just wish they would go away. They're not going to go away. That's why we're going to continue to speak up at all this craziness that we see. My message to Harry and Meghan would be, go spend some time with your kids. Go spend some time with your kids. Don't worry about a wellness retreat in Australia right now, okay? Meghan, don't worry about helping your friend Marcus with a grand opening of a Soho house. Don't worry about trademarking as ever products in Australia when you seemingly can't even really make a go of it in the US. Just stop chasing this seemingly, crazy dream that seems out of reach of world domination, because that's not what's important here. That's all I'm going to say about that.